like, how did you find the transition into social media? Because you said when the Vamp started, it was like, I'm guessing there was like Facebook and Twitter, and now it's Instagram, TikTok, obviously YouTube as well. And there's so many different facets and it's got so much bigger. How have you found the scrutiny that comes alongside that?
I think I was, well, first of all, what you said before, and now they've like removed fact checkers and things. It's just another environment altogether, isn't it? But I think with me, like we were very fortunate with the band that for the vast majority of the time, we didn't really have any hate per se. And I think that's down to, I think the image that the band kind of projected into the industry, definitely in the early days, was kind of what we are, which is, you know, 4 relatively normal guys from relatively normal backgrounds. And I think we kind of had this kind of tag of being like nice guys in the industry, which is lovely, like great. Like hopefully we are nice guys.
Better than bad guys.
Exactly. But I think there was this kind of thing of like, there would just be certain artists that no matter what they did, even when they didn't do anything wrong, there would be all this stuff on Twitter. And especially like female artists. I always thought in those kind of early days, we used to spend a lot of time with like Fifth Harmony, for example. We did like a tour with them, and like so they had like really, really, really passionate and supportive fans. But like whenever, and you know, they were, I don't know how old they were at this time, but maybe late teens, early 20s. Like I just remember reading comments all the time of things like people like critiquing like what they're wearing or what they thought about them, and I was just thinking like, that is a lot for anyone to deal with. And we fortunately didn't really have that for a long time. I think the only time I really had it was after I did I'm a Celeb in 2018. And fortunately for me, it didn't really affect me too much because I've been very lucky to have a certain degree of exposure for, you know, 6 years before then. I realized that the stuff that maybe the Daily Mail were writing or in those comment sections, I was able to recognize that the person they thought they knew was not me. And I think that's a thing that is quite hard to unpick for people, because it's so easy to take things personally. And even now, man, like I don't get it. I very rarely get it now, but mainly for the fact that I don't use Twitter anymore. Like, since it was taken over, I literally just don't use it. And it seems kind of weird. I've got, you know, 1.5 million followers on this platform and I just don't care. I just neglected it. I'm done. Like, I don't want it. Maybe I could sell it, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's probably worth nothing now with where Twitter's gone. But that was the platform that it'd be easier to see kind of like hate. And I think now with my Instagram, and I think it'd be quite rare for someone to publicly leave me like a really nasty comment on my Instagram now. Sometimes I get like the odd, like I did this thing the other day, which is, this is probably the only hate I've got in a long time. For my birthday in April, I bought a decommissioned 1886 Cavalry carbine.
Nice.
It's an Enfield. And obviously this thing probably hasn't fired in over 100 years. It's an antique. I bought it in an antique shop. And my dog was, I had some birthday cake, and my dog was like walking towards like going to eat it, and I took a photo of me with this like antique gun, being like, get away from the cake. and I had like quite a lot of like direct messages, like request messages, so people that don't even follow me. I think that story got 150,000 views, which is a lot more than maybe I'd normally get for like an Instagram story, right? You know, I was like, it clearly had like some, I always wonder how those things kind of go like semi-viral on like stories. It must be like a suggested prompt to people that don't follow me. Anyway, that happened.
It sends. Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. And I had a lot of people being like, how dare you be so cruel to an animal, blah, blah. And I was like, my like kind of, it's funny. And this is before I did quite a lot of therapy and stuff. And my immediate like response is like, you feel like you're under attack. And what I wanted to say is like, I've been vegetarian for 10 fucking years. Like, I bet you eat meat. I love animals. I've rescued my dog. You know, I'm an ambassador of several animal charities. This is an antique gun. I'm clearly joking. And even if the gun was real, do you honestly think I would post a picture of me shooting my dog on Instagram? I was just like, come on, man. Like, I'm pretty left wing, but I was like, just fucking stop being so sensitive. And that's the only thing. So, but now, really, for me, I don't really get into, I used to do a lot of political debating on the radio. And I used to love it. I thought it was great. And especially around like kind of Brexit and the sort of steps that followed after that. And I really enjoyed it, but I realized I was putting myself in situations where even if I said nothing wrong and had the best intentions, there would always be a certain group of people that would be annoyed with what I say or think certain things about me and slag me off. Like, especially I did a few I was sort of a panelist on a few sort of daytime TV politics shows for a while. And I thought for a long time that was maybe going to be another thing I'd do more permanently. And then I was like, well, you know what? I don't want to put myself in those situations where, you know, some people thrive in that environment. They love it. And I'm just like, I actually don't care about that. I don't want to do that anymore. So now, dude, I don't really come into much hate. And then when I do, it's almost funny because I'm like I kind of said before, people don't know me. If they're thinking I'm going to shoot my dog for going near a birthday cake, it's just like, you can think that's funny, man. That's not me. So I don't, luckily, mate, touch wood, I don't have any of that stuff in my life anymore.
It's context, though. Like, context is king. And if you take something out of context without knowing the situation, for example, that what you had there is a vintage thing that's never going to fire, even if you wanted it to. But like, it's the context of it. And that I see it especially with the YouTube channel or the podcast, or like whatever the niche is, people will take clips or like things that I've said and they'll stitch them together to make it look like I say something else and then post it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I bet people just they don't look into it. I'm sure that I get it very minimally, especially with the podcast, but the likes of, you know, Joe Rogan, biggest podcast in the world, it's mental. Like the amount of stuff that people take and just totally twist his words or crop out a bit where he actually explained what he was saying. Yeah. It's really scary. It's just the world of social media is so unbelievably toxic. Like, I don't know, after doing it for, you know, that's where I kind of had my leg up. I started on social media and I managed to do photography and videography, but I've kind of grown to be like, this is just copy and pasting. Like everyone on social media now is doing exactly the same thing. And if you do one thing that's different, you'll have 100,000 people being like, I hate you. Why would I do that?
Yeah. Well, first of all, also like the deep fake thing is just another thing. It's like one thing cutting and copying and pasting and whatever, but like the deep fake thing is something that I have no idea the future of, especially with what you do. It's so easy now to have this like AI shit. But then also like a friend of mine is a YouTuber and he just did like a paid partnership on YouTube, and it was a very, very relevant partnership. The whole video was, you know, it was relevant. The platform he was promoting was something that I use, and ironically, everyone that slagged it off would also use. And I was just kind of thinking, like, these people that are commenting, oh, this is just an ad, blah, blah, blah. Like, what do they think YouTubers do for money? It's like, do you honestly think that, obviously, you have the odd person that maybe just literally does YouTube for fun. But the people, like, it's funny, these people that are commenting saying, oh, blah, 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 like, I hate, you know, and sorry, this is relevant because what you've just said, someone does something slightly different from the norm and, like, they get hated. And I'm just like, or like ostracized for doing it. And I'm like, okay, so on one hand, you expect this content creator to post a video every single day. And I realize I am like that as a consumer. Like, he's my mate, and I'm like, if he's not posted a video when I have my lunch and put on YouTube, like, oh, mate, yeah. you like, what are you doing? So you've got that on one hand. You expect that demand, yeah, and you also expect a certain level of production now, because it seems that the bar is so high with YouTube videos. You want every, like, cutaway scene of, like, I don't know, like a micro lens on a dial to be, like, perfect, and you want to see the texture of that shun bun in a way you've not seen in a previous video. But then you also get annoyed when they do, again, very relevant ads. I'm like, how do you think this is working for the YouTuber? And I just feel there needs to be a little bit more grace and consideration for these people, because it's not, I mean, YouTube's great, it's fun, but it's a bloody hard job, which actually now I know a lot about the other side. I have no idea how people like you guys do it, because it's so stressful.
Thinking about, it can be. I don't know. There's so many sides of jobs. Like I've spoken to a lot of people about this, and I mean, you'll be the same. People will see you traveling the world and be like, you have the best job in the world. And it's like, well, I'm incredibly grateful for all the travel I'm able to do and all the things I'm able to experience that others aren't. But at the same time, people don't see the flip side of that, which is my job is to make it look good. So let's say I travel, to the Maldives. I traveled to the Maldives recently with a watch brand, Certina.
Cool.
I was on I think I was on like a 20-hour flight with my videographer. We landed in the Maldives. We had 3 days in the Maldives with jet lag, with everything else going into that, and with 3 tours booked. Plus, we had to go to an island in the middle of nowhere because it was too expensive to stay in the main islands. So you had like a 20-hour flight, a 4-hour wait at the airport. Then you were traveling 3 hours in a boat. Then when you land, you sleep for 4 hours, get up for sunrise. And like this kind of stuff, it's great because you experience incredible things, but it's not a holiday. Like people look at it and think, oh, you were swimming with manta rays. That's a holiday. You're reviewing the watch in the sun. It's like, actually, this stuff, like it's difficult. Like you need to take a 20-kilo backpack around with you. It's fucking 40 degrees, and I'm Scottish. It's like it doesn't work. But yeah, it's the context thing again, right? It's like people will see one side of it. They'll see the side that you show, that you want them to see, and nobody wants to see, or not. I'd hope nobody wants to see me covered in sweat, a big Scottish hairy guy.
Maybe your OnlyFans subs. That's what they want. Extra content.
Yeah.
If you guys enjoyed that clip, please do me a huge favor before you go and head over to our Into the Mind podcast official page, where we have the raw, uncut Into the Mind podcast, and hit that subscribe button. And the more subscribers we get, the more incredible guests we can get on the show. I really appreciate you guys for watching. Thank you so much. And I'll see you all real soon.